Rain tapped softly against the cracked window. It wasn't loud. It never needed to be. Because inside that small, suffocating house, the real storm had already begun. Jimin didn't move. He sat on the cold floor, knees pulled to his chest, fingers trembling as he stared at the broken glass beside him. His cheek burned. His lip tasted like iron. Blood. Again. "You're useless." The voice still echoed in his ears. Heavy footsteps faded down the hallway. A door slammed.
Silence. Jimin exhaled slowly, like breathing itself was something he had to ask permission for. He didn't cry, not anymore. Before everything broke, there was a time when Jimin used to laugh, a soft, sweet laugh that filled the house with warmth. His mother used to say it sounded like wind chimes. "Jimina," she would smile, brushing his hair back. "Promise me you'll always stay kind and happy." "I promise, Amma." He had meant it. He really had. But promises don't survive in houses like this. Not after she died. After her death, everything changed. The man who entered their home wasn't a father. He was a shadow. Cold, loud, cruel. At first, it was just words. "Why are you so weak? Look at you, pathetic. You're just a burden." Jimin tried harder. He cleaned more, spoke less, ate quietly, stayed invisible. But invisibility never saved him. Nothing did. The first time he was hit, it had been an accident. A glass slipped from Jimin's hand and shattered. That was all it took. The sound, the anger, the slap. Jimin didn't even understand what happened at first. His head snapped to the side, ears ringing, heart pounding like it wanted to escape his chest. "I'm sorry," he whispered immediately. But sorry was never enough. It was never enough after that. Years passed. Bruises faded. New ones replaced them. Words turned sharper. Hits became normal. And slowly, Jimin changed. He stopped resisting because fighting made it worse. He stopped speaking because his voice irritated him. He stopped smiling because happiness felt wrong. And somewhere deep inside, a dangerous thought began to grow. Maybe I deserve this. Jimin stood in front of the mirror. His reflection looked unfamiliar. Pale skin, hollow eyes, lips cracked from dehydration. A faint bruise along his jawline. He reached up and touched it gently. It hurt, but not as much as before. Pain had become normal, expected. He adjusted his collar to hide the marks. Today was important. His first day at university. A new place, a new life. Or at least, that's what people like to believe. The campus was loud. Too loud. Students laughed, talked, lived. Jimin felt like he didn't belong among them. He walked carefully, avoiding eye contact, clutching his bag tightly like it was the only thing keeping him grounded. "Hey, watch it!" A shoulder slammed into his. Jimin stumbled slightly. I'm sorry," he said quickly, lowering his head. The guy scoffed and walked away. Jimin didn't react. He was used to it. Then it happened. He entered the lecture hall quietly and took a seat in the corner. Safe. Invisible. Just how he liked it. But fate had other plans. A group of boys walked in. Loud. confident, untouchable. And at the center of them was him, Min Yoongi. Yoongi didn't look like a monster. He looked calm, cold, sharp eyes, relaxed posture, a presence that demanded attention without trying. But there was something else, something dangerous, something that made people avoid him. Except his friends. They laughed loudly, dropping into seats nearby. And then, Yoongi's gaze shifted. It landed on Jimin. For a moment, everything stopped. Jimin froze. His breath caught in his throat. Those eyes, they were unreadable, dark, heavy, piercing. Yoongi tilted his head slightly, observing him like he was trying to figure something out. Jimin immediately looked down, heart racing, hands shaking. Don't look at him. But it was too late. The beginning of something cruel. Hey. The voice was low, lazy, dangerous. Jimin didn't respond. Hey, I'm talking to you. Jimin slowly looked up. Yoongi was staring directly at him now. The entire room suddenly felt smaller. Yes? Jimin whispered. Yoongi's lips curved slightly, not a smile, something worse. Why do you look like that? Jimin blinked. Like what? Like you're hiding from everyone. Like we are going to kill you. Silence. Jimin didn't know what to say because he wasn't wrong. Laughter erupted from his friends. Damn, Yoongi, one of them chuckled. You scared him already. Yoongi leaned back in his chair, still watching Jimin. Relax, he said coldly. I'm just curious. Jimin lowered his gaze again. I'm sorry. The laughter grew louder, and something shifted in Yoongi's eyes. Interest. Jimin's thoughts. I shouldn't have spoken. I shouldn't have looked at him. I shouldn't exist here. But deep inside, something unfamiliar stirred. Not fear, not completely. Something softer. Something more dangerous. Imin reached home quietly. He always did. The door creaked as he pushed it open, carefully stepping inside like a guest in his own house. The lights were off. For a second, hope flickered. Maybe he's not home. But hope never stayed long. Where were you? Jimin froze. The voice came from the darkness. Cold. Waiting. The shadow stepped forward. His stepfather stood in the hallway, eyes sharp, jaw tight. Jimin immediately lowered his head. I was in university, he said softly. A pause. Then a bitter laugh. University? He mocked. You think you're something now? No, Jimin whispered quickly. I didn't mean... Then what do you mean? The shout made Jimin flinch. Studying. You think you're going somewhere in life? Jimin stayed silent. The man walked closer. Then suddenly, his arm was grabbed harshly, fingers digging into his skin. You're wasting money, living in my house, eating my food. Each word came with a tighter grip. Jimin's vision blurred slightly. I'll do better, he stammered. You'll do better? The man repeated, voice dangerously low. Then, slap. The sound echoed through the house. Jimin's head snapped to the side. Pain exploded across his cheek. But this time, it didn't stop there. This is to remind you of your place. Another hit. And another. Jimin stumbled, falling to the floor, trying to protect himself silently. He didn't scream. He never screamed anymore. Because screaming only made it worse. "You're useless!" his stepfather yelled, "just like your mother." Weak, useless. His breathing stopped. Maybe it's good she died. At least I don't have to deal with two burdens. Something broke. Not loudly, not visibly, but deeply. Jimin didn't cry, but his fingers clenched the clothes nails digging into the skin. His chest hurt, not from the hits, but from something else. The thought came again, stronger this time. He's right. I ruined everything. I shouldn't have been born. Later that night, Jimin lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. Every part of his body ached, but he didn't move, didn't close his eyes, didn't think. Because thinking hurt more. Until one face appeared, Min Yoongi. His voice echoed, "Why do you look like you're hiding from us?" Jimin's lips trembled slightly. He turned his head, burying his face into the pillow. And then, something terrifying happened. He smiled. A small, almost invisible smile. Jimin walked slower today. His body protested with every step. Bruises hidden beneath his clothes. Pain stitched into his bones. But he still came. Because staying home was worse. The hallway felt different today. Eyes followed him. Whispers spread. Low laughter echoed. Jimin felt it immediately. Something was wrong. And then he saw it. A group gathered around a notice board. Phones out, snickering, pointing. His heart dropped. A picture. It was him. From yesterday. Head down, shoulders small, eyes empty. And beneath it, words. Pathetic. Looks like he cries for fun. Probably gets beaten at home too. Laughter exploded around him. Jimin's ears rang, his vision blurred, his hands started shaking uncontrollably. And then, a familiar voice. "Do you like it?" Jimin turned slowly. Yoongi stood there, leaning casually against the wall, phone in his hand, eyes locked onto Jimin. "I just shared what I saw," Yoongi said calmly. "Truth shouldn't be hidden, right?" Something inside Jimin twisted. Pain. Humiliation. Jimin lowered his gaze. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Silence fell for a moment. Even Yoongi's friends paused. Yoongi frowned slightly. Not in anger, but confusion. "Why are you apologizing?" Jimin didn't answer. Because he didn't know. Or maybe he knew too well. "You really are messed up," Yoongi muttered. But his tone had changed. Slightly softer. Slightly curious.